Hello and welcome to the fourth installment of Triangle Z. Today, it's just me. Once again, the co-hosts aren't able to join, but there's too much going on right now for me to just do nothing. I know a solo podcast a bit weird, but hey ho. So we got some quick fire announcements right off the bat. Uh, by the way, I am your host, Marshmallow Chomper. I did forget to say that. It's kind of hard when you not mention everyone else. So poll results from last time, which was now 2 weeks ago because we couldn't do last week because no co-hosts again. Um, should we be worried about microtransactions? There are only a couple votes on that, and they are all for yes. However, from the general theme I've been seeing since that, a lot of people have been warming to the fact that they don't think microtransactions are going to be a big thing anymore. So I'm also sort of being more like eased into the idea that we're worrying too much too fast, and I don't think there's going to be a ton of microtransaction. I'm optimistic. I can see everyone's reasoning, and yeah, it's a great thing, honestly. However, I can't deny the results that we did get, and everyone put yes. Although it was a very small group of people responding, but that is still a yes. So we should be concerned a little bit still. Don't forget it entirely, I would say. Um, we do have, well, I have a poll on my TikTok going at the minute. I'm starting a little series where we go over just teams that people prefer, just to sort of generate hype over teams that are underloved and things throughout the series before the game comes out, and just a nice little interactive series. So the first one came up today. And it's Occult v Brainwashing, and so far, as it stands, Occult is 58% to Brainwashing's 42%. So if you want to represent Brainwashing and help them take the lead, go on my TikTok and vote there. But if you want Occult to take the lead, or keep the lead, should I say, vote for Occult. And yeah, the results will be announced in a few days alongside a new one, which will be Wild versus Farm. And the final announcement is one of the co-hosts is withdrawing being a co-host, which is quite annoying, but it is what it is. It's fair enough. Stuff happens in life, but that means that if you want to be a co-host or a guest host, please let me know. You can do that on TikTok, YouTube comment section if you watch listening on YouTube, and I think you can comment on Spotify too. So if you're listening there, let me know. Um, if you want to be a guest host, just message and we'll sort something out. But guest is basically just one that comes on every now and then or just once for like a feature. Co-host, if you want to do it sort of like often. I'm not expecting 100% attendance to it or anything like that, but something around like 75% of the time, something like that. Yeah, but if you're interested, just let me know and we can sort something. So let's actually get into the juicy news of I would say this week, but it was last week. So last week we've had two trailers. One came up today, which not many people have seen, but we'll go on to the first one from last week, which was the story trailer. Very nice, actually. It looked beautiful. The animation's really cool, and I'm really excited. It looks beautiful. So the new story we've got. I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to forgive me, but the main character, I don't remember his name. I think it's Nagumahara School that they're at, the new one. And it starts off with him saying that he hates football, he wants it to be wiped from the earth. There's going to be some sort of backstory. I think he's described as like the dark past character. So obviously something bad to do with football's happened, and he wants it gone. Now I don't think he actually does want it gone, but it's just caused him so much torment that he's not a fan of it. And at the very end of that trailer, we do also see him trying to get the um, top troublemaker, I think they described him, to join up and fight for football again. So it seems as if football has just become really irrelevant at this school. Maybe some big incident or accidents happened, or something that disgraced the school, like what happened to Zeus Jr. with the uh, God's Aqua. So something's happened essentially, and they're either trying to forget it or trying to redeem themselves, and so that's that. Now, this is a great storyline. I think it's really cool, and especially because it's not Raimon, and we're getting this sort of school of people who are really struggling and are genuine underdogs trying to fight to be able to play football. Like, it's almost impossible for them to even play football. We've seen the bullies from like the baseball club, stopping them. And so it's a real struggle, and I guess we're going to have to build up the team as we play through the story. Now, speaking of Raimon, they are still in the series, but they are at just the very top of the game now. They're like the equivalent of Royal in the very first season, which is really cool. And someone related to Mark, everyone's saying Son. I'm not sure it's been confirmed, but I'll just say Son because too many people are saying it that I think I just missed it being confirmed somewhere. Um, but a relative of Mark Evans is just so strong and so just lucky with a really strong team that he says to his captain, "Isn't football kind of boring?" So you've got this really, really incredibly strong Raimon, which is very accurate because with the sort of hype and following that Raimon would have gathered from the original series, of course, only the best players are going to be getting in. Now, I know they tried to do that with Go, but I can't lie, the Go players all felt kind of weak. But to be honest, playing the games at least, everyone in Go just seems really weak in comparison to the power levels in 1, 2, 3. Whereas from what I'm gathering from these trailers so far, this Raimon seems like incredibly strong, which is really cool. Now, and then yeah, I guess the main part of the story is the rivalry between the kids who struggle and fought to be even able to play football versus people who are just complete naturals and the absolute best in the game. So we get some new characters. We see the captain of Rymon, who isn't the relative of Mark. It is a completely new character, and there are some panning shots where there's some really really cool characters in that Rymon team. It looks really cool, and I'd love to do a tournament in the new game with all the different Rymons fighting each other. That'd be sick. And we get a bit more background information on a lot of the characters from I think it's Nagamahara School, the main school that we play as in the story. Um, now I think is he Soji is his name, I think. He's really cool. He's already like my favorite character and we've not seen anything. So I hope it stays like that in the game and go through the story. I can still really like this character because it's really really cool. And yeah, he's awesome. He's like the charismatic, cool friend who's not just a generic anime cliche. And like, I'm not hating on the generic anime cliches. You kind of need them, right? For when you've got something like a big cast, like a team, you need them. But having that variation is really cool. Um, so that's sort of the main part of what that trailer was about. But let's get into the specifics that you may not have noticed and the things that are arguably at this point in time more important. So we got our first glimpse at the FFI online, and they mentioned this was going to be this really big tournament that's going to happen like a lot. Now, we had mentioned like the seasonal rotation thing for characters. I'm not sure if that applies for this. I think this is a different tournament. But don't quote me on that. The whole rotational characters coming season by season, going in and out of your team might be for this, but it's not an 11v11 setup. Instead, it's a five-a-side match, like the mini battles in 1, 2, 3, and Go. In the DS games, the random encounters. Um, I mean, in 1, 2, 3, they were 4v4s, but in the Go franchise, they were five-a-side because that is more realistic. Five-a-side is actual format of football that's played commonly. So we see five-a-sides, right, as an online thing, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Depends what it is. Because if it's like the DS games where it's score first goal, whoever's got kickoff has major advantage. If it's not, then cool. It'll be weird to play, but it could be quite cool. But there are a few things that we need to maybe be scared of, maybe be afraid of, but hopefully not. So, first off, we see the players' team and then we see the teams that they are choosing to fight. And one of those teams that they're choosing to fight has a purple, I'm guessing it's going to be called Epic because it is in every game, rarity Mark Evans. Whereas the player team on the left hand side has a gold, legendary Mark Evans, meaning that there are different rarities of the exact same character. Now, do the different rarities have different stats, different move sets? I don't know. I'm hoping it's just move sets and the move sets aren't just a straight upgrade or downgrade because it could be really cool to see like, oh, I have this legendary Mark Evans with like, I don't know, Fist of Justice, but my common Mark Evans has Blazing Knuckle and I want a fire attribute keeper move. So I'm going to play that one. That'd be really cool, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's just going to be this has more team buffs. It's straight up better. Now, I don't mind if that's the case if you can grind for it and there's no limit, like a freaking energy system or anything like that. Like, as long as you can grind for the higher rarity characters within reason of it not being really stupid and taking up 7 hours for like a character, I'm fine with that. Also, as long as it's not microtransactions, I'm fine with that too. But if we get into the point where you're having to pay for a stronger character that boosts your running speed of all your characters, that's not okay and that's a bad thing. So I don't think it's the case. It's not been mentioned. So I'm optimistic that it isn't the case, but be wary, folks. And then we also see that the player gets to choose between 3 teams to fight, each team having a different power level because they have different members, different levels, and whatnot. Now, you might think, cool, total power level, it gives me an idea of the strength of the teams that I'm fighting. First off, if you can pick between 3 teams, I think it's safe to say that it's not actually going to be PvP. It's going to be PvP, but you're not actually fighting another player, but a ghost controlling another player's team, or an AI, sorry, or a bot. Any of those terms work. So hopefully that is in some regard, I'm guessing more with the 11v11 matches, there will actually be PvP. Because that's what we want, right? But this system of picking between 3 teams and they have a total power level, this is something I've seen in a lot of Marvel mobile games. And then, well, it's not even just Marvel mobile games. There's a lot of mobile games that have sort of like, those idle fighter games where you make a team and then they just fight each other and you just watch them fight and you might be able to like tap to do an ability and then they just carry on fighting. Um, they all have that system for their PvP thing, and this game has been confirmed for mobile, which I think it looks too good to be able to run on mobile, but I guess we are getting some pretty heavy duty mobiles now. But the point is that this system of online fighting is not very good. I always just stop playing that sort of thing very fast. Now, if it's an accompaniment to the rest of the game, and I don't know, you just get some like currency that gets you some characters or something. Again, no microtransactions. Then I'm fine with it, but it isn't a very healthy system, and it does lend itself to microtransactions and pay to win. So maybe it's a bad sign. I have seen other people reacting to the trailer not recognize the system as anything. But if you guys follow me on YouTube or anything for a long time, you know I play a lot of mobile games way back. Yeah, it's not a great system. Again, it lends itself to pay to win. You're not actually fighting real people. It gets stale and boring very fast, and it's very much just I've got a meta team. You don't have a meta team. My team has more power. I'm gonna win. It's very rock paper scissors and not actually skill based. Now I'm hoping it's more involved and it's not just like an idle fighting thing and you actually play. But I don't know. Be wary. I'm hoping it's just a side mode that doesn't matter too much. Um, there's not much else to say on that, but I don't know. I get real bad vibes from it. So new environments and graphics, they look great. I've already said that. They look really, really good. I'm hoping that they still hold up and look as good on Switch. Well, not as good because it's not possible, but still look really good on Switch because I'm not gonna shell out on a PlayStation 5 to play one game and then have to shell out for online. That's stupid. So I'm obviously gonna get it on Switch. I was hoping to get it on PC, but it doesn't seem to be on PC. So I'll get it on Switch, which I guess fits with the Nintendo theming of all the other games, and hope it still looks good. We have a quick glance at Chronicle mode as they just talk about it again, sort of wrapping it up neatly as a quick thing that goes past in the trailer. However, we see the person walking around the bus, like the time travel bus, I suppose, since it's set 25 years in the future. I'm guessing it's going to be like the one in Go Chronostones. And the character walking around is this mystery character we had before with the blonde hair and the black jumpsuit sort of thing, um, who is a relative to a past character. Now, everyone was saying that it's Rush from Inazuma 3, the kid that Ray Dark sort of helps out and saves, I guess, because it looks a lot like them. I also saw someone say it looked like is it Miles Ryan? Yeah, Miles Ryan, which Miles Ryan is such a really cool side character that's just barely ever shown or mentioned. I'd like that. I like Miles Ryan as a character, but I don't think it's happening, sadly. But now that we've got this sort of thing, this isn't my idea. I got it from TXM Tom Spores. He said, and I think it's very just, I guess, common sense, but I didn't pick up on it, so I don't know what that says about me. But he said, it's quite likely to be Faerun at that point. I was like, oh my god, yeah. So maybe it's a relative of Faerun at this point. Which, if you guys don't know who that is, they're from Go Chrono Stones. I don't want to say too much because if you don't know, then I'd be spoiling it. But similar sort of themes going on with what they do. Um, and yeah, in the trailer, again, it goes over old features and it's just going through old things that we've already seen. But on the team showcase screen, and we see the terrifying legendary rarity Mark, it is a different screen of Mark showing equips and moves. Now, there are only two moves shown there, but we rectify this in this trailer that came out today, so I'll get to that later. But he has some things equipped to him. He has his team skills, he has his stats. Cool. The equipment is new, but like it's not new to the franchise, it's nothing special. I use Google Lens to translate, so I'm saying that because it might not be foolproof, but I did translate the two moves that Mark had because I noticed he had an air attribute goalkeeping move and thought that's out of place. It's usually fire or earth for Mark. All of his moves are earth, and then he's got Fireball and Blazing Knuckle in the show, which are fire. And I guess Diamond Hand, I was thinking from Orion, maybe that's the attribute move. But no, it translated to Iron Fist of Justice. So again, it might be Diamond Hand, just poorly translated or something. But if not, that means we're getting a brand new Mark Evans move because the two moves were Fist of Justice and Iron Fist of Justice, which would be really cool. It sounds sick. Even if it's just a recolor, if it's blue or silver or something, that's gonna look really cool, and I'm all for it. Honestly, Fist of Justice. I don't know. I feel it kind of fell off incredibly fast in the show, and it was a really cool move. Oh, just the franchise in general, it fell off. So it'd be cool to see it, a new evolved form. So then, yeah, at the end of the trailer, it's confirmed for Switch, PS4, PS5, and mobile, but no PC or Xbox. Now, I had to talk to my friends about this because they have PlayStations and I don't. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the thing on the top of the controller is like a touchpad, right? Now, I'm not sure if they're right. They said it was. I'm not doubting them, but let me know if I'm wrong because I don't know PlayStation. But if that's the case, Switch has touchscreen, mobile has touchscreen, and PlayStation has a little touchpad thing on the controller, I think. So, because you can draw arrows like you could in the old DS games, is it only on platforms with touch controls, and does that mean that it's not coming out at all on PC or Xbox? Which would be a shame, because I think it could be translated very easily, but I guess it just wouldn't or won't be. So maybe that's why. But it's very interesting to see that we've still got confirmation for mobile because we kind of didn't for a long while. It was only really with like the Ares game years ago, and then they kind of didn't mention it since. But it looks like they're still trying for it because it has been confirmed. And then they said, oh yeah, next news is Tokyo Game Show. So Tokyo Game Show starts tomorrow, or if you're watching this later or whatever, the 21st of September and is open to the public on the 23rd of September, where there will be a public playable copy or version or like test version of Inazuma 11 Victory Road, which is great. So we might get some footage from that, some sort of commentary, some hopefully translated stuff as well. It'll make it easier for me to talk about and analyze. And yeah, just sort of stay tuned for that. Listen out from other accounts because I'm obviously like in England. I'm not going to Tokyo. Um, It'd be cool, but I'm not. So yeah, I guess just keep an eye out, keep an ear out, and see what comes from it. Also, no one's mentioned this really. Level 5 have a few games coming out. Megaton Musashi, Fantasy Life, and Deca Police alongside the same time as Inazuma 11, and they're all going to have playable demos at Tokyo Game Show. Why is this relevant? If you go to the booths of, I think, Fantasy Life, Megaton Musashi and Inazuma 11, you get 3 coins if you play the game there. Um, this doesn't really matter for most people. It's just going to be like completely unobtainable. But There is a coin for the new character from Inazuma 11. If you play Inazuma 11, you get that, Snack World one, and a Little Battlers Experience one, which is really cool. I think if you played Fantasy Life, you got something like a Jibanyan coin and maybe a Professor Layton. But you got 3 coins for each, and they're all level 5 IPs, and they're really cool. That's all I want to say on that. Um, but yeah, they're cool. Maybe we'll see someone opening them or owning them on footage, which could be nice, but I'm probably never going to get one, so it's a bit sad. And then I guess from here I'll just segue into the new trailer. So the new trailer came out today. It was more of just a tech explanation of how the new game works. Sadly, as of now, there isn't a translated version like there was of the story trailer. I'm not sure there will be one because it's for its Tokyo Game Show release tomorrow, so players know what they're doing when they're playing a bit. So why would you translate something for Tokyo Game Show when it's in Tokyo? You don't need to translate it to another language, so I'm not sure they will. It'd be nice if they did, but they don't need to. I don't expect them to. So yeah, but I translated a few things again with Google Lens, so it might not be fully accurate. Like, I might have messed up a screenshot or something, might have done it too late, so it messed up. But there's a few bits of info from it. It's mainly stuff we've seen, just explained in a quick fire sort of easy packaged up way. But there's a new defender system that's shown, which is really, really cool. So we have the hand thing where you like sort of fight for the ball with midfielders, right? And we had a thing with that where it's like showing us how you can pass it over them. You can use hissatsu techniques or moves to get past them. And if you both go for a hissatsu, you do sort of like the clash thing from before. And we see the little animation it does. It's nothing too fancy, but it's a lot nicer than the DS games, I suppose. But the defender system is if a defender gets in front of the ball, they do shot blocking like they used to. Now, we didn't see any shot blocking with an actual Hissatsu move, like how Xavier Foster could block a move with Meteor Blade. We didn't see any of that, we just saw them blocking it with their body. Now, to show this, they had like this little rampart castle wall thing either side of them getting in the way. And what you could do when the game slowed down as the player goes to shoot the ball, what the goalkeeper could control was the placement of their defenders, and they could place the wall in a certain spot, basically saying, yo, defender, move here, get in the way of the shot, get the ball, and then we have possession. So this is something I mentioned in the last one, talked about a bit, talking about like how the keepers seemed a bit incompetent, and they seemed that when it goes slow mo, what's the keeper doing? And are they just watching the ball get kicked past them and there's nothing they can do? The answer to that now is no, which I'm really happy about. Now, the keepers did miss every single shot again. Now, I'm not sure if that's just to showcase how epic scoring is, or if they're just not going to be very good unless they use a move, or if they're really trying to emphasize using your defenders and not just a keeper. Because if we look at the competitive scene in the past for the DS games, you can see things where it's just like, oh yeah, I've got Isla Pullens with Charm Up and God Catch and Power Element, and nothing can break past her goalkeeping move twice a match. So you have to shoot on me at least 3 times if you want to get past me, right? And instead, I think they're wanting to make it where it's like, I've got my keeper, who's got a matching element with his defender, and there's a team boost, which makes my defenders run faster to block a shot. And I think they kind of want to make it more team based, which is cool as long as there's no microtransactions. And hopefully that's the case, and I'm all for it. The whole shot blocking thing looked really fun, actually, and you could control multiple defenders because in the sort of showcase, the goalkeeper, which was Mark, he told someone to stand somewhere. The ball got crossed past that defender. He told a second defender to mark that man, essentially. I think it was Kevin that was shooting the ball the second time. And yeah, they got in the way, which was really, really cool. Um, so I don't know, it just looks interesting and it makes me a lot more relieved that keepers don't seem incompetent at saving the shot. But again, they might actually be way better when the game actually comes to light. It's just for showcase purposes that they were terrible. For all we know, because they're setting it up to showcase the game to us, the keeper might have been level 1 and the forward might have been like level 99, just to show a cool goal cutscene. So yeah, that new trailer was basically reaffirmation of old mechanics and characters. But there were some new characters that we saw, like Scotty Banyan in the background, which was really cool. And finally, uh, I did translate some subtitles. It seems as if characters are going to have a minimum of 6 moves. Now, I'm not sure if that's naturally learned 6 moves or if it's like the old system where you get 4 and you can give 2 move manuals for them to learn 2 more. But they said if you like hold the left bumper, because you've got the option to, in scenarios to like shoot we'll do dribble, pass, or use one of 2 moves. If you click like left bumper, it gives you the next selection of 2 moves if you have 4 moves of that type or 3. And then you can do that twice. So a maximum of 6 moves. Although I doubt that's ever happening because who's rocking a character with like 6 dribble moves and like nothing else? Hopefully no one, but I don't know. But I think that's it. We'll close out there. The question of this week, I've not actually thought about that. Let me just think of one real quick. I guess we'll link it to Iron Fist of Justice because I've not seen anyone talking about that. So, do you think Iron Fist of Justice is a new move or just I translated it wrong? And do you think we should have a lot of new moves or just focus on keeping all of the old ones? So I'll have that as the question. Do you think we should get a lot of new moves or focus on keeping all of the old ones? So I'm saying that because there's so many moves in games like 1, 2, and 3 that I'm not sure they're all going to come over to the new game. Would you rather they all do, but we don't get new moves, or we at least don't get new moves for a while? Like, obviously, we're getting ones from Orion and Ares that we've never seen before, but we get all the old moves and them. Or we get iconic moves from like the first 3 games Go and Ares and Orion and completely never before seen moves. What would you rather? I mean, either way, I think we're getting a lot of moves, but would you rather the classics or a lot of new moves? We're guaranteed to get one, right? Because we've seen, like, I think it's called Spring Thunder that's been shown in about 4 trailers now with 2 of the new characters from, I think, Nagamahara is what it's called. But yeah, let me know. So thank you for listening in. Sorry it's a bit of a weird one. And again, if you want to be a co-host or a guest host, so it's not just me. I mean, I should have a co-host for next time, but I don't know at this rate. Let me know. Thanks for listening in, and I hope to see you next week.